just in time for Diwali, which is the Indian Festival of Lights coming up this Saturday. I'm going to be showing you how to make ice cream sandesh. It's actually simmered milk that's broken into cheese by adding lime juice or lemon or vinegar, whatever you have in hand, and then you drain out the whey and make a cheese out of it. You add a little bit of vanilla extract and powdered sugar to your sweetness, and crushed pistachios on top of it. And this is how you can see that it's boiling again. Stir it a little so it doesn't boil over. And once it boils over, I just take it off the stove for a few seconds. Put it back on the stove. I'm going to give it a last boil before I add lime juice. Today I'm adding lime. You can use lemon or vinegar to break the milk to make the cheese. So for about a little more than half a gallon of milk, I've actually added about 4 tablespoons of lime juice. You can see how much you need. Lemon is a lot less acidic than lime and vinegar, and so I've added about 4. You may need more. The idea is to get this clear yellow liquid. That's when the entire fat has been separated. And you turn off the stove, cool it down a little bit so it's easy to handle, and you can see the cheese that's formed. And you drain it onto a cheesecloth and squeeze out all the whey from the cheese by squeezing the cheesecloth. This was our childhood favorite growing up from an Indian sweet shop called K.C. Das, and we would always order it well in advance, only because by 11 o'clock this sandesh is gone. And they have several different flavors in it. We used to always like the ice cream sandesh because it has the flavors of ice cream, which just a little crunch of the pistachios, crushed pistachios. So you can see the yellow, it's been separated. And now I'll be draining it onto a cheesecloth. So this is how I usually drain it. I have a little container in the bottom, a colander. You can just use a regular colander, line it with a cheesecloth, and then pour in the whey, and so the cheese will collect into the cheese. So you can see all the whey has been drained out, and this is the cheese. You let it cool and drain out a little bit more, probably about 15 to 20 minutes. And then you tie it together. Bring it all into a nice tight ball. Squeeze out any whey that you have. You can see there's still a lot of whey remaining. So you tie it, I just use my faucet, tie it onto that, and you let it drain in the sink. So you can see I've just tied it, I'm just letting it drain. You can see a little bit of whey still coming through the cheesecloth. You want it dry because if there's any kind of whey in it, it's not going to form into little balls of cheese. It's very similar to how you make ricotta cheese too. So the cheese has been drained. I've squeezed out any kind of whey. You can tell it's pretty stiff. And to a food processor. I've got about a tablespoon of cream. You can avoid it if you like, but that gives a little creamy texture. About 3 tablespoons of powdered sugar and a tablespoon of a half of vanilla extract. I'm just going to be dumping the cheese into the food processor, and I'm giving it a good blend so it's nice and smooth. So this is the same way that you make paneer. You can you just drain it, make it into a block, and then cut it up into pieces, and then add your seasonings to it, or you can grill it. That'll work. And you can make different curries with it. There's several dishes online that you can copy on and make it, but this is homemade paneer. Basically, paneer is the staple for many of the North Indians. They make that for dinner, and here we're making with the same cheese. See that the cheese is really creamy. Processing it makes it creamy, and a little bit of the cream helps too. And you taste it at this time, make sure it's sweet enough for you. We like ours a lot less sweeter than most Indian desserts, and so I've only added about I would say about 3.5 to 4 tablespoons of powdered sugar. All I do is take a tablespoon measure of the cheese and then roll it in your palms gently. Flatten it just a little. You can see just a little bit. You flatten it, make sure it looks pretty on the side, there are no cracks or anything, and then take your little knuckle and just press it down gently, and that's where the pistachios would go. So I'll show you one more. Gently roll it, flatten it between your palms, and a little depression for the pistachios. And what I have here is some crushed pistachios, and I'm just going to put it in the center of each little sandesh. It's yummy, melt in your mouth. Little balls of sweetened cheese, that's all there is. The hardest part is making the cheese and making sure it's drained well. And you can refrigerate this for up to a week in an airtight container. It not only looks pretty, but adds a little nutty crunch to the cheese, sweetened cheese. So the paneer that you made can be used for savory as well as for many other desserts that we Indians eat, from ras malai, rasagolla. It's just that they're made into balls and then boiled into either sugar syrup or sweetened milk, which is called ras malai. So the basic ingredient you have with umpteen possibilities of making different dishes out of it. So Diwali, which is the Festival of Lights, is on this Saturday this year. It changes based on the Hindu calendar, and it's always a tradition to give away little sweet dishes on that day, and you actually kind of make it and enjoy it with your family. And here you go, ice cream sundae.